Okay, got it. I got it. I'm going to call to order the council meeting of February 25th, 2020. Can we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Place your right hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. We have a quick, may not be quick, but we have a presentation for Councilman Herb Wesson, candidate for the Board of Supervisors. We're honoring him for Black History Month. Yeah. Yes. We have a special commendation for Black History Month to, at the time, Council President Herb Wesson Jr. in recognition of outstanding contributions. It is with great pride and honor that the mayor and council members of the city of Inglewood recognize Councilmember Herb Wesson Jr. for his commitment to performing his civic duties and his trailblazing activism. And whereas Councilmember Herb Wesson Jr. was a council member representing the city of Los Angeles 10th District, and whereas he was the first African American to serve as president of the LA City Council since its incorporation in 1850, and whereas he served from 2002 to 2004 as only the second black speaker in the history of the California State Assembly, and whereas Herb Wesson Jr. has played an integral role in enhancing the quality of life for his constituents, leading to the coalitions to raise Los Angeles minimum wage to $15 an hour, helping to secure passage of the local measures H and Triple H that provide hundreds of millions of dollars a year to build new affordable housing, and passing the first bill in the United States that reduced greenhouse gas emissions from passenger vehicles, and allocating millions of dollars to housing our nation's veterans. And whereas Councilmember Herb Wesson Jr.'s long history of public service and hands-on participation in the legislative process are all worthy of high praise. Now, therefore, be it known that the mayor and council members of the city of Inglewood, California, the #1 city in the country, as Mr. Agee would say, do hereby salute Herb Wesson Jr. for his exceptional service presented this 25th day of February 2020. Would you like to say a few words, sir?
Thank you. Thank you. First, I want to thank God for bringing us all together this afternoon. I want to say to each and every one of you from the bottom of my heart that I truly appreciate this honor that you bestow upon me today. I would have never envisioned it as a kid running up and down the streets with holes in my jeans trying to get a nickel to buy some candy, that one day I would be standing before this great body. Let me say this about being, and I'm proud to be the first black man ever elected president of the Los Angeles City Council. I am proud of that. But the coolest thing about being the first is you know you're not going to be the last. And that's what's so exciting to me. To live not just in this great nation, and our nation is great, but in this great region where we judge people based on their deeds and their actions and not the color of their skin, where we don't care what religion you practice. We don't care who you love or how you love. The only thing that we care about is that you love. That we strive every day to try to make the American dream come true, which is to live a better life than your parents so that your kids and grandkids could live a better life than you. And the last thing that I will say is that I wish my mama was alive, because she was an Inglewood resident for 30 years. She'd be pretty jazzed right now. So again, from the bottom of my heart, I'm so appreciative that you take a few minutes out to honor the little fella. So I appreciate you so much. Thank you,
Step over
guys.
We have one more that I've been handed. It says, today we're recognizing the members of the 2020 Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day Planning Committee. On January 18th, the city hosted its 37th annual Dr. Martin Luther King Day celebration. The event began with a rousing commemorative service at Faithful Central Bible Church, followed by the King Day Parade that culminated on Market Street. There we enjoyed a family festival with great music, food, and fellowship. Thanks to a very dedicated group of volunteers, led by committee chair Henry Brown, who helped plan the event. This was a great event. Thank you to all of you. We appreciate your service and have a certificate for each of you, which I don't see up here. But if we don't, oh, okay, all right. They didn't set me up. We appreciate your service and have a certificate for each of you in recognition of your being a valuable member of the 2020 Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Planning Committee. As I call your name, please go to the platform to accept your certificate and remain there for photos. I don't. Oh, here we go. Eli, you should take over. Okay. Kevin Bellamy. So you guys just go over to the wall. Okay. Kimberly Dotson. Graciela Patino. Reverend Ray Reed. Odess Riley Jr. Cheryl Shaw Williams. Such teamwork. Reverend William Thurman. Thomas Wood. And last but certainly not least, Bishop Johnny Young.
First, we have to do.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so we're going to have public comment, but before you come up, these items are pulled and therefore not subject to discussion. PH1, DR1, DR3, and CSA 4. So now with that, public comment, any persons wishing to comment on any items left may do so at this time.
Mayor, before we do that, can we call the roll?
Oh, I think we should do that.
Okay.
Madam Clerk, would you call the roll?
Sure. A quorum is present for City Council, Successor Agency, Housing Authority, Finance Authority, and Parking Authority, Joint Powers Authority.
Gonna- Oh, you said we have a quorum? I didn't hear that. All right, thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, we do have a quorum.
Yes.
Oh, is your little green light on?
It's working.
Okay. Okay.
Aye.
All right. So now public comment on the remaining items. With that, we'll close public comment. And we'll go to item 1, CSA 1 and H1. Madam Clerk.
City Council, Successor Agency, and Housing Authority members, Dodson. Padilla. Morales. Franklin. Mayor Chairman Buds.
Aye. Madam Clerk, what's the next scheduled matter?
The next scheduled matter is a public hearing to consider a modified resolution to replace resolution number 19-08 for special use permit number 2018-007, which allows 12-bed community care residential health facility at 814 North Market Street.
Is there a report? Okay. Ms. Wilcox, welcome. Yeah, I know. And they were checking the mics, too.
Good afternoon, Mayor, working now, Mayor and City Council. The item before you is a request to revise the resolution of approval. Back on November 6, 2018, the City Council approved a resolution which upheld the Planning Commission approval of a 12-bed residential health facility at 814 North Market. Since receiving that approval, the applicant applied for state licensing and was informed that they would need additional clarifying language in the city approval resolution that relates to the specific facility that they intend to operate. The language proposed to be included in the resolution is taken directly from the state's definition for a congregate living health facility and matches what was originally included in their project description to the city that was part of their original approval by the City Council. And without this clarifying language, the facility cannot be licensed by the state. With that, I'm available for any questions you may have.
Are there members of the public present who wish to address the council on this matter? Hearing none, the public. That?
Somebody in the back.
Oh, sir, please come forward. Afternoon.
I'm one of the tenants or resident that lives on Market Street, 819 North Market Street. It was brought before to the council that they wanted to have an establishment like this put together. But what I got to understand, it's really a halfway house and not really a establishment for hospice stage and people that it really need that type of location. So we all are here as residents to vote it down if it's possible and reconsider it, present
But
the
Ms.
language
Wilcox,
differently.
is that true?
No, there is a restriction on no drug rehab or alcohol rehab patients.
Sir, she says that's not true.
And it also went as far as like there are going to be like hospice stage army folks that is coming back from
That's
Iraq.
not true, sir. Thank you.
Okay. There's other residents also that would like to comment. I don't know.
Hopefully you took care of the sentiments, but if you want them to come up and say the same thing, that's fine.
They're here.
I mean,
the council would like to see.
And Mayor, if I can.
sure.
So all these points were brought up at the presentation at the Planning Commission when this is all approved. All your concerns that you're addressing as it relates to who can and can't stay at this facility has been addressed. So you're not gonna have, folks there with drug and alcohol. It's not a halfway house. It's none of that. It is truly a place for folks to go that need medical assistance. You're not gonna have that type of environment there. I've looked at it, I vetted it, I talked to some of the residents there, and as you can remember, there was even a community meeting that was held for the residents on Market Street to address your concerns. So all of those concerns were brought forward and were addressed in the staff report. And so, I can assure you that that's not gonna be the case. I'd be more than willing to talk to you guys after the council meeting.
Well, besides that too, the residents were pretty much concerned about parking, because if there's people that is gonna be in
Right, if you'd like to stick around after the council meeting, I'll be more than happy to talk to you.
Thank you.
You can come up forward. Yeah.
Up to the mic.
Yeah, absolutely. You can be amplified.
My name is Christy McCorkle. I live exactly right next door to it. For the past 8 months or so, there have been squatters living in that building. Last week, they put up a sign for sale. I don't know what she's referring to at this point, if you now plan to sell the building. This week, they're in there remodeling. I have no idea what is going on because this information has not been imparted to us. So they're coming here today to get your permission to get started on whatever it is they're really doing. They're not putting in the, what are those, veterans? Those who are incapacitated? If that's what you're saying now, then who are they putting into this building, which is right next to me? I've had to modify my property. So, please, when you're considering this, take us into consideration as well. The people who live there. These people who own it do not live there. That's all I have to say.
Make a motion to move 2 and 3.
Second.
Madam Clerk?
Council members Dodson,
Aye.
Padilla,
Aye.
Morales.
Aye.
Franklin.
Aye.
Aye. Consent calendar, items 1 through 9.
So moved. It's 2 through 9, right?
2 through
So moved.
Second.
Council members Dodson,
Aye.
Padilla,
Aye.
Morales.
Aye.
Franklin.
Aye.
Mayor Butts.
Why didn't we do 10?
What's that?
We didn't do 10?
There's no 10 on my book. Madam Clerk, do you show an item 10? We know. Let's see, so DR1's been pulled.
Report, 2019-2020 first quarter budget review.
Welcome, Ms. Buchanan.
Sorry, Mayor? Oh, okay.
Public. I am glad to present today the fiscal year 2019-20 first quarter presentation report based on the first 3 months of the fiscal year, beginning, yes. Okay. What went out? That's a good thing.
All right, I'll give you the, I'll give you.
Oh, good.
Upward? Oh, okay, upward, okay.
Straight.
Oh, straight, okay. Yeah, that's okay. I can do it. I'll just read from here.
Oh, or should I just? Oh, no, 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 I don't think there is, and Chris doesn't either, so. Right, and we have not waived them in the past, so, but only because the mayor asked for it.
No, not medication.
He didn't think we could, because he's never waived them in the past.
There we go. All right, sorry about that. I'll be presenting the first quarter report today for our fiscal year 1920. The first quarter report provides you the first 3 months of our fiscal year beginning October 1st and ending December 31st of 2019. The first quarter report provides a snapshot and a summary of the city's financial status, primarily focusing on the general fund. So with that, we will begin with our snapshot of our key economic indicators. Our property taxes have experienced a 5.98 net taxable value increase. That's related to our general fund areas. Citywide was 26%. This increase is attributed to our 2% assessors applied California CPI increase, and it's also related to our parcel changes that we've had from the new development at the stadium. Our sales tax quarterly trends are experiencing a slight decrease. I would prefer to use the terms that they're normalizing as opposed to decreasing. If you recall, last year we had a peak in our momentum of our construction from the development. So now we're seeing now the experience of our sales normalizing now that development is somewhat normalizing itself. Our building permit activity has increased almost 300% over the same period last year, also related to our construction and development. The UUTs, our utility users tax have experienced an increase of 4.5% compared to the same period last year. Business license tax have experienced a decrease of 24% over the same period last year. And again, that's us normalizing our activity from the decreased momentum in the construction. Our regional unemployment is down by 13%. The city's is 4.7 currently compared to 5.4 last year. Our city expenditures for the general fund are under the current budget by 17.8% through the first quarter. So this slide presents a snapshot of the general fund budget as we started at October 1st of 2019. It shows our general fund revenues are $125,511,425, and our expenditures are $125,419,540. The city is projecting a surplus of $91,885.
And do we actually keep it in gold?
Yes, it is, because we plan on having a surplus. Okay. So now, our first quarter of the current total general fund revenue budget amounts of $125.5 million. The city has received $26.4 million, or 21% of the revenues at the first quarter, compared to 30.7 in the prior year, same period. On the next slide, I'll go through the various revenue categories indicated here and provide you with a little bit of some explanation as to the increases and or decreases. So first off here, for the revenues collected from October 1 through December 31st, our UUTs, which is our utility users taxes, are up $148,735, or 4.5%. This increase is primarily attributed to the increased collection of water receipts compared to the same period last year. Our sales tax is down 1.1 or 19.2%. Again, that's attributed to the decreased momentum of the construction. But as far as our sales tax standard normalized revenues, they're actually up. Okay, the city experienced a significant peak with the development, so that's why you're seeing now some normalizing with the sales. Property taxes are up $403,000 or 5.8%. Property tax, again, has experienced a significant net taxable value increase due to the experience of the changes over at the parcel for our stadium. The other local taxes are up $1.1 million or 22%, attributed to our non-residential construction tax for our new development. Other revenues are down approximately $4.9 million or 51%. That is something attributable to an anticipated decrease that we expected from no longer receiving any additional development fee agreement funds.
So Ms. Buchanan, just because we don't want to get this lost,
Yes.
the city had an agreement or a development agreement that all materials contracts that were in excess of, I believe the figure was $5 million, would be wholesaled to a location inside the development, so that the sales taxes would be derived for the city of Inglewood. For instance, we don't produce girders and concrete in large quantities here, so those sales taxes would have gone to other locations, but they were wholesaled here because of our action, and so we received really large sales tax revenues from the construction of the stadium. And so what you're seeing now is, as the the construction ends its construction cycle, that those revenues are going to decrease. So that isn't indicative of our sales taxes or property taxes. It's indicative of the construction-related revenues.
Exactly. That is correct. Thank you. Okay, so now of our expenditure performances of the current general fund expenditure budget amount of $130.1 million, the city has expended 26.7 or 20.5% in expenses at first quarter compared to 23.9 in the prior year same period. And again, like with the revenues, I will go through on the next slide and provide you some information relative to these expenditure categories. Okay, now overall, as you can see with all the red, all operations have experienced an increase compared to last fiscal year same period. In most cases for operations, most departments have now filled positions that were previously vacant. It also has to do with some additional maintenance and operational cost also acquired through operations. As far as police and fire expenditures, they're combined, they're up 2.4 million or 13.4%. ECD, Parks and Recreation, they're up approximately 26,000 to 22,000. Public Works is up 204,000 or 11.3%. That increase is related to a capital purchase that we actually did compared to last year. And General Government is up 214,000 or 5.7%. Again, that's attributed to positions that were previously vacant that are now filled. Overall, the general fund expenditures are up 11.6% compared to the same period last year.
Ms. Buchanan, let me interject. So this is year-to-date. It's a 3 month, is it 3 months?
3
now?
months.
It's a 3 months snapshot of where we are. Now, we don't receive revenues in a straight line, nor do we expend money in a straight line. What I'm saying, it's not the same amount that's expended every month, nor do we get revenues in the same amount every month. Some revenues, there are peak months that we receive them. For instance, when the state franchise tax board remits our taxes to us. And then when we do projects in a given 3 month period, those projects won't be replicated in the 3 months periods thereafter. So this is a snapshot as opposed to dispositive of what the year will be.
That is correct.
All right.
That is correct, definitely. Because throughout the year, especially when we come back at 6 months, you'll see a variance now of that proportion increasing.
All right.
Okay. All right. And here we provide a small snapshot of our special fund performances. And combined here is the expenditure and revenues. I'll speak to the revenues at the top of the chart here first. The special fund revenues are up 3.8 million or 34% collectively for the same period last year. We received 20% of the budget as of the third month, as of our first 3 months. And this increase is attributed to the increased activity related to our grants and special fund activities. The proprietary funds revenues are also up 869,000 or 10%. We've received 22% of that budget, and the increase is mostly attributed to water and sanitation fund revenue from collection of sales. As far as our expenditures are concerned for the special revenues, the expenses are up 1.3 million or 11% from the same quarter last year. We have expended 12% of the budget, and again, this is attributed to the activity related to the grants and special funds. Proprietary fund expenses are down slightly by 700,000 based compared to last year, and we've expended about 16% of the budget. Now, this decrease is mostly attributed to the water fund due to us insourcing our water supply from the new well, and due to the decrease in some of our expenses for projects, which is something we expected by having the new well. And as far as our first quarter performance for capital projects, we have our CIP budget includes a current appropriation of $42.1 million. Of this amount, a total of $628,000 or 1.5% has been expended as of the first quarter ending December 31st, 2019. There's a total encumbrance amount for future commitments of 13.6 or 32.3 of the total current budget. So kind of speaking to what the mayor's mentioned, right now we have a small amount spent to date, being that it's only in our first 3 months, but you can see we have our CIP encumbrances, our commitment already being held to be spent already at 13.6 million. And to speak to some of the project statuses by category, this slide shows the project status by category, where we have a total of 27 projects are in the construction phase, and 6 projects are under contract for design. As of the first quarter, a total of 33 projects are active, 27 in construction, and 6 are in design. That concludes our presentation for the first quarter.
All right, are there any council comments? Okay, with that, we'll receive and file the report. Thank you, Ms. Buchanan. That was very, very informative. DR3 and CSA, that's pulled. So now we go on to reports. A1, closed session.
Thank you, Mayor. We had 2 closed sessions. The first one was CS1, Marlboro versus City of Inglewood. That's an auto accident. Discussion was held and status given to the City Council. No action was taken. As to CS2, that's anticipated litigation involving a application for a noise variance by the City of Los Angeles. There's a request for motion to approve the application from the City of Los Angeles to the California Department of Transportation.
Second.
Madam Clerk?
Councilmembers Dodson.
Aye.
Padilla.
Aye.
Morales.
Aye.
Franklin.
Aye.
Mayor Buds.
Aye.
And there's no reports as to A2, Mayor.
CM1,
Thank you, Mayor. There are no reports from the City Manager's Office.
CC1,
Reports, thank you, Mayor.
CT1.
Thank you, Mayor. And I
Oh,
certainly
wait a minute, monthly treasurer's report for the month ending?
I just say one thing?
Sure, of course you can.
Next week, Tuesday, is when we're going to start having voting downstairs in Community Room A. And I just want to remind everybody, because you guys can all vote there if you haven't already.
Okay.
Election is March the 2nd.
Third.
Okay, now
I'm getting them there
CT1
before.
is the monthly treasurer's report. Madam Clerk, CT1.
Month ending October 31st, 2019.
Receive and file. CT2, oral reports by the city treasurer.
Thank you, Mayor, and I certainly appreciate the 5 minutes that you're allowing this time. Much appreciated. I'd like to just mention a couple of things about, we just have some rather exceptional employees, and I just want to just talk about a couple of them. And one of them is Chris Bad Boy Jackson. He is just a workaholic. And during the 32 years that I have served here as city treasurer, he has been really the best that I've seen. And Chris was formerly an entrepreneur also for many years. So he knows what it is to get out there and hit it in order to support his, I think he has 6 children. And he has been very also supportive of my city treasurer intern program. And I'm very much appreciative of that. The other is Betty Griffin. And Betty is also another exceptional employee who have just done quite well with the sound installation program, who actually have been responsible for insulating a number of homes throughout the city, thousands of homes as a matter of fact. And she has gone the extra mile by calling out Congresswoman in order to get extra money in order to insulate more homes. Also, I want to mention something regarding Billy Campbell. Billy Campbell is an entrepreneur here, has been here over 30 years, and he was recognized for outstanding recognition by the All-State National Agency. Billy, raise your hand so people can see where you are. Thank you for your service. And I just want to mention also regarding the free income tax services provided by the treasurer. It does end on March 31st. It's for seniors only with $55,000 in income and less. Now, regarding the treasurer's report. During my 32 years, I have invested more than $441 million of bonds. These are bonds and reinvested bonds over this 32 years, and have earned more than $90 million. And today's treasury report, as of November the 30th, has a total investments of $138,927,639, and report is available on the counter outside. Now, I would like to mention regarding, I attended the volunteer breakfast about 3 weeks ago. Again, thank you, volunteers, for your service. As a matter of fact, Councilman Franklin and I sat at the same table. As a matter of fact, Councilman Franklin talked about the mayor like he had 5 tails at that particular dinner, at that particular breakfast. Yes, you did. And if you wanted to deny it, recorded you. And I'd just like to point out that, and then you come here to the council meeting and pretend that you're on track with all of the rest of them and calling me out of order. The mayor is the chair of the meeting. He is the only one to call me out of order. At another setting, when you met with me in my office, I recorded that one also. 12
Play the
minutes.
tape.
It is my turn. You talk when you get your turn, okay? You talked about Artie Fields, that he did not have financial background, and you told me not to mention it. Well, I am mentioning it now because you are a snake. You are weaker than water, and I have no respect for you and don't appreciate that. And don't you
Okay.
ever
Okay,
steal my time
Ms.
and
Brown.
do not call me out of order ever again.
Ms. Brown.
Mayor, let me come finish. I still have 2 minutes.
Ms. Brown, no, you don't. This is not what council time is for. So you're at your.
And also, you
you're-
cast a long vote
okay,
against the
you're-
Inglewood Library
Madam-
to be named after Congresswoman
Treasurer.
Maxine Waters.
Madam Treasurer, that's it. Okay.
Wow.
CSA 2. CSA 2.
Approval of the minutes for the successor agency meeting held on February 4th and February 11th, 2020.
Move approval. Second. Madam Clerk.
Successor agency members, Dotson.
Aye.
Padilla.
Aye.
Morales.
Aye.
Franklin.
Aye.
Chairman Butts.
Aye. CSA 3.
Report for the month ending October 31st, 2019.
Receive and file and will adjourn the successor agency H2.
Approval of the minutes for the Housing Authority meeting held on February 4th and February 11th, 2020.
Move approval.
Second.
Madam Clerk.
Housing Authority members, Dotson.
Aye.
Padilla.
Aye.
Franklin.
Aye.
Chairman Butts.
Aye. H3.
Monthly Treasurers Report for the month ending October 31st, 2019.
Receive and file will adjourn the Housing Authority. The Finance Authority is in session. F1.
Approval of the minutes for the Finance Authority meeting held on February the 11th,
Move approval.
Second. Madam Clerk.
Finance Authority members, Dotson.
Aye.
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 Chairman Butts.
Aye. We'll adjourn the Finance Authority. The Parking Authority is in session. P1.
Approval of the minutes of the Parking Authority meeting held on February.
Move approval.
Second. Madam Clerk.
Parking Authority members, Dotson.
Aye.
Padilla.
Aye.
Aye.
Franklin.
Aye.
Chairman.
Aye. Adjourn the Parking Authority. The JPA is in session. JP1.
Powers Authority meeting held on February the 11th, 2020.
Move approval.
Second.
Madam Clerk.
Joint Powers Authority members, Dotson.
Aye.
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 Franklin.
Aye.
Chairman.
JPA. Aye. JPA 2.
Oh, yeah, there is. Monthly Treasurers Report for the month ending October 31st, 2019.
Receive and file. Adjourn the JPA. No appointments to boards and commissions. Public comments. Any persons wishing to address the council on any matter not else on city business, not elsewhere considered on the agenda, may do so at this time. Mr. Davis, welcome back for the second week in a row.
All right.
That I possibly can. Great to be back. And again, great to see everybody. And with my time, I got to speak from the heart here. I've been coming here nearly 20 years, and I'm concerned because the person that I can always depend on to keep their cool lost their cool. They don't do that. We're all in this together. Something's amiss. Needs to be resolved. We got to get in touch with our higher angels. I'm just a concerned citizen. I love all you guys, but something's amiss. I tell people, I don't choose sides unless I'm forced to.
Well, there are no sides to choose.
Okay, that's what I need to know.
There are no sides to choose.
And so this should be resolved.
We
PDG,
don't
right?
plan on letting 4 weeks erase 9 years, all right?
Okay.
All right, thank you. Any other persons wishing public comment?
Everyone, I'd like to first say I'm glad to be here. We established a a newly chartered club. It's called the Inglewood South Bay Democratic Club. And so our design is to target Inglewood in the South Bay area and hold our elected officials accountable so that we have the voice of our community at hand. So I'd like to invite everyone out to our membership launch meeting. It's going to be this Thursday, the 27th, at Comfort LA. It's a local Inglewood business, so I'd like everybody to come by. We have some items there for you to participate and munch on, so God bless. The hours are from 6 o'clock to 7:30, but of course they're going to run over. It's on La Brea, 902 La Brea Avenue. All right? All right, God bless you guys.
With that, we'll close public comment. Are there any council comments? Councilman Dodson?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I wanted to just give a shout out and thanks to Briarwood Community Club for inviting me over to their Monday Town Hall meeting. I want to thank Mr. Chris Jackson for going along with me and explaining all our new projects. It makes a difference when there's someone there who really understands each project. And Mr. Jackson is involved with all of those projects at one way or another. And Chris Jackson, I want to thank you if you're in here for going. I've got calls already. They understood very well what you were saying. So anytime a constituent understands what you're saying, they can get it. So thanks again. And I enjoyed sitting and talking to Congresswoman Maxine Waters. Anyway, it was a great time, a great meeting. Thank you very much for inviting me. I'd like to remind all of you, next week, next Tuesday, don't forget to go vote. Please. With that, have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Padilla, District 2.
Great, thank you, Mayor. A couple of quick things. We're not, we're dark next Tuesday because of the election. So I'm hoping that everybody is already out there. If you haven't voted by mail, please, get out there and do your due diligence. Let your voice be heard. And as the city clerk mentioned, next Tuesday there's going to be polling place here at City Hall. And so please, if you're looking for a spot, come down here. That being said, I want to take this time to invite everybody to a ribbon-cutting grand opening of our recently opened Jack in the Box restaurant, which is located at 1220 Centinela. It'll be on Friday, March the 6th. Come out there. They're going to be giving away 2 free tacos between, 12:30 and 1:30. So come on out. It's right next to the AAA building on Centinela. And these guys are all looking forward to their tacos. Also, I want to thank our Office of Emergency Services. They're coming out to put a presentation together at the District 2 Community Center. This presentation is open to everyone, not just District 2 folks. So if you live in Inglewood or even in the surrounding community and you want to come out, you want to learn a little bit more about what's happening with the coronavirus, we'll have a presenter there to talk about that, as well as how to be prepared for emergency disasters, whether it's an earthquake or any other emergency that you may encounter, whether you're at home with your family, away on vacation, or just on your way to or from work or what have you. So they'll also be talking about CERT training, and that's very important. If you haven't done your CERT training, I highly encourage you to please participate and get CERT certified. So with that, thank you so much and enjoy the rest of your week.
Thank you, Councilman Padilla. Councilman Franklin, District 4.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I want to reach out to the city clerk. Do you by chance have the number for the LA County Registrar's Office in the event that the system is not up for them to go to the polls to vote? If not, can you get that number? The challenge has become that there's been several of the polling sites that have already opened, and several of the District 4 residents have gone to those sites.
only to be identified they weren't able to get the system up and running. So they kept going to one location, and to finally they had to go to the third location. They finally came up. I know it's not under your purview, but if you have that number in which you could share, that would appreciate it.
Sorry, we have voting here on Saturday and Sunday and Monday, and then Tuesday. This, is it this weekend?
Yeah.
This weekend.
That
And
the-
then the 800 number that I have. Just
good.
put on 1-800-201-8999.
Thank you. Yeah, because there were several areas, and they were outside of the city of Inglewood, but obviously in the county of Los Angeles. Other than that, I think it's best to leave well enough alone. Thank you very much, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilman Franklin. Councilman Eloy Morales, District 3.
Thank you. Just a lot of points were covered. I'm good with that. I just want to announce again that this weekend on Saturday will be the final sign-up day for the Inglewood Little League, which we were drastically in need of for the last 7 years. Like I said before, we got the Little League flag back. We have a good group of coaches, a good group of parents. I think we're up to sign-ups at Rogers Park, maybe close to 140 kids, most of which are below 8 years old. And that's how you build a Little League. And so we're hoping all the kids that play everywhere else come back, and we're real proud of that. It's been about 2 years in the making, so hopefully you guys can get out there and sign up if you haven't done so already. Thank you so much. That's it, Mayor.
And I just want to thank the Finance Department, our CFO, David Sparza, Sharon Quakey, and Ms. Kiona Buchanan for doing such good work and keeping tab of how we are expending our funds. I really appreciate you guys. And with that, we're adjourned.